Hey everyone, jumping right into the video. You want to first start off with a clean face, and here I am putting on my Hard Candy's Pore Defense Primer because I do have large pores. I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow and I'm going to fill in my eyebrows, give them the shape that I want them to be, and then I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro Concealer in Pure Beige to sculpt out my eyebrows. Now I have to go back and forth between my dip brow and my concealer because one of my eyebrows is noticeably higher than the other, so I have to make sure that I go back and forth to make sure that you can't really tell that one is higher than the other. But I like to do them first and then go back and make any corrections that I need to my eyebrows. Once that is done, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. concealer brush and just blend out the edges of the concealer. I'm going to stay as far away from my eyebrows as possible so that way I don't mess them up after I've completed them. But I just do want to make sure that my concealer is blended out seamlessly. So now I'm going to go in with the same concealer I used on my eyebrows. For my eyelids, I'm going to put it on and blend it out. Once it's blended, then I'm going to go ahead and set it with a light brown color that's similar to my eyelid. This is just to set it, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my transition color. So just an FYI, I am using one of my MORPHE palettes as well as my BeBella palette. I will have both palettes in the description bar to let you guys know exactly which palettes I am using. So like I said it before, I am putting that medium brown color into my, like a little bit into my crease and underneath my brow bone. So this is going to be my transition color, and I'm just going to blend it out. And then I'm going to go in with a brown, not too dark of a brown, but just dark enough so that way it looks like it's fading from the brown into the lighter brown. And I'm just going to blend it out to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines. And I more so focus this color in the outer corners, and then I just bring it I blend it out into the rest of the crease. So now I'm just applying a brow bone color. And I always like to do something that's similar to either my skin tone or maybe one notch lighter, but I don't really like to do too much of a highlight underneath my brow bone because of the concealer being there. I feel like that gives it enough pop as it is, so I don't want to go overboard with it. So now I'm just applying a little bit more concealer onto my eyelid because the green that I'm going to be using, I want to make sure that that color shows up true to color as much as possible. So if I had any color on my lids, I wanted to remove that so that way it can be nothing but the green. And I'm just going to pack that green onto my eyelids. Once I pack it on and I feel comfortable with it, I'm going to go ahead and blend the color out into the brown. Like I said, you want to make sure that you blend because you don't want any harsh lines. So now I'm going to go in with a darker brown, and I'm going to focus it in the outer V of my eye, and I'm going to blend it out, and I'm going to blend it the same way I blended the other brown. I'm going to start blending it inward, but I'm not going to take it as far into my into the inner part of my eye as I did with the other brown. I'm just going to focus that more so on the outer corners and maybe halfway into my eye. And like I said, blend again. I can't stress enough how much you have to blend to make sure that the colors and everything is the way it needs to be. So I applied like a pearl kind of color into my like onto my tear duct, you know, just to give a little pop, but nothing too much. And then I cleaned it up with a little bit of tissue, and now I'm gonna go ahead and go into my foundation and my highlight and contour. So the foundation that I'm using is the one that I always use. This one is my Maybelline Fit Me mixed with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation. I use the Maybelline Fit Me in the number 360, and then I also use the L'Oreal Infallible in the number 109. Those two mixed together, I'm able to create a good color for me. And then I'm going to go in with my Pure Beige again, and I'm just going to highlight. I'm then going to get my Ruby Kisses contour and concealer palette, and I'm going to use the darkest shade in that palette to contour. Okay, so once I have everything on, I'm going to first start off by blending out my contour. After I do that, I'm going to blend out my highlight. I'm going to set my highlight, and I'm going to be using e.l.f.'s translucent powder and my Ben Nye luxury powder in beige suede. Then I'm going to set my contour with e.l.f.'s loose pigment in the color Glow. And once I do that, I'm going to set my entire face with my MAC, I think Pro Wear or something like that, face powder, and I am in the color C6. Now, I do not wipe away my powder, my highlight powder, because I do have oily skin. So I like to keep it on, like I like to buff it into my skin versus wiping it away, because I find that it helps keep me from looking so oily throughout the day, versus if I was to swipe it off my face. Okay, so moving right along, I am using my L'Oreal's liquid liner, and I am using the darkest color, the darkest black that they have. I always try to search for the darkest black because I just like my liquid liner to be really, really dark, and I also like to make sure that it has a matte finish. So I'm just going to apply that, then I'm going to apply my lashes. You will also see me apply my mascara, and then you'll see me take my brush going underneath my my waterline. So what I'm doing here is I kind of did the steps backward because at first I was only going to do the mascara, but then I was like, no, I want to kind of smoke it out. But then I was like, oh, I didn't, you know, I need to put some liner on. So you see the steps kind of go, you know, out of whack. But all I'm doing is the color that I'm using on the brush is just the leftover green that I had. So I'm not adding any more color to my brush. I'm just using what I have and just pretty much kind of just adding just a little bit of a smoke under it, but not too much. Okay, so I am now taking my favorite bronzer, and I am, what is it, the Wet n Wild bronzer. So I'm just kind of going over the areas that I highlighted. I just love the glow look that it gives me. So it doesn't matter if I am doing a everyday look or if I'm doing a full glam look, I have to use this as a finishing touch. Then I'm going in with a Wet n Wild blush, and I'm putting that on very lightly. I'm not a big blush person, so when I do wear it, I really don't want it to be really noticeable. So now I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild highlighter, and I'm going to use the darkest gold and the darkest pink that's in the palette. I'm just going to mix those two together. I'm going to highlight my cheekbones as well as my nose, my forehead, and my chin. And also I'm going to highlight the top of my lip. I'm going to then go in with my NYX Auto Liner pencil in the color brown. Then I'm going to use my MAC lipstick. It's nude pink, but it has like a shine finish to it. And then I'm going to top it with a Ulta matte liquid lipstick. I do not have the colors on hand, so I'll definitely make sure that I put that in the description bar. So I'm just going to top that off, and then I'm going to set everything with my e.l.f. matte and mist setting spray. Then that is it. This is the finished product. I hope you guys like what you see. If you do, like this video, subscribe to get more notifications. I will be definitely bringing you guys more videos. Thank you guys for watching.